America it is today. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Forgive my voice, it's not very good. I apologize for all of those who have pride in regards to musical, acumen. I have musical acumen, just not in vocals. I played the tuba. I used to play a little piano, used to dabble in that sort of thing, right? But nonetheless, not vocally talented. We talk about America. We talk about the state of the country in terms of what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles, because the Eagles were Super Bowl champions of Super Bowl 59 and were scheduled for the White House visit today. And a lot of controversy is surrounding this visit because star quarterback Jalen Hurts decided not to go due to a scheduling conflict, so he says. And then star running back Saquon Barkley went to the White House and he received flack for going there and opting to visit the President of the United States. Now, this isn't a discussion about whether or not you like and support Donald J. Trump or whether or not you are opposed to his policies and his ideas and what he stands for. This is not a political discussion in terms of ideologies here, okay? I don't give two shits what you believe, what you decide to stand on, whether or not you're against him or for him. I don't care. In the end, we all need the same stuff to be alive. You need water, you need food, you need sleep. You got to take craps, and your craps probably smell, some more than others. But then, that's just a reflection of your diet, from a medical perspective, right? But that's neither here nor there. Point being is, Saquon Barkley got shit for going from one side of the country, and Jalen Hurts got shit for not going from the opposite side of the country. And both sides have valid points, but in the end, they both need to just pipe it down. And that's my overall take. Okay? Whether or not you like the fact that Jalen Hurts went, or whether or not you love the fact that he went, and vice versa with Saquon Barkley, to me, it doesn't matter. That's not what this discussion is about. The discussion is regarding, do we really, really need to care? Right? Does it actually matter? And is it only a big deal because the media decided to cover it a particular way? And because of social media and what people believe and the stances that people are taking on it, does it make it a bigger deal than what it is? Is it a reflection of leadership by Jalen Hurts? Is it a reflection of what the ideology is of the country, sensitivity of the country, whatever you may have? We're going to kind of dive into that in just a moment and, kind of have this discussion because I don't know what my opinion is on it. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I'm trying to dive into this, stew of controversy to see what the results lead up to because I don't know what the right answer is. I just know what I feel. That's all I can really give you. And I would love to know what you guys feel. And in order to do that, you would have to do it by, helping the show out. The Riding the Bench Eagles podcast, I'm Asif Badi. And if you want to be part of this discussion and facilitate the conversation, you could do it by going into the comments section below, liking this video and subscribing to the channel because this is a show about the birds, only the birds and nothing but the Philadelphia Eagles. So like I said, go to the comment section below, give me your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and shoot this video a thumbs up. It helps to get out to as many people out there on the internet as much as possible. Check us out on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Share it with a buddy of yours and leave a 5-star review because in the end, it doesn't cost you a damn thing to go ahead and share your opinion on this channel. I block no comment. I try to keep my pride in that. I block no comment. So whatever you feel will be shown at the bottom of this video. So please, go ahead and support the channel and give me your thoughts on the discussion at hand because Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley have strong viewpoints here. in regards to whether or not they should go or not go to the White House. And like I mentioned before, Jalen Hurts opted not to go. Now his excuse was that he had a prior engagement, a scheduling conflict, and he decided to visit Oprah Winfrey, as opposed to go ahead to the White House and visit Donald J. Trump and the rest of his teammates in regards to the Super Bowl title. Now, people have a lot of pushback on this because, and again, when I say the people who have a problem with Jalen Hurts not going have an ideology that lines with more in support of Donald Trump, more on the conservative side, more on the right. Now, more power to you guys. You want to vote for the man? All good. I got no qualms whatsoever. Genuinely. Half of my I'm in Long Island, New York. Half of my friends support the president, support his policies, support his ideologies. I got no qualms with that. That's your belief. It's a difference of opinion. That is the whole point of the country. Like, you got to have difference of opinions and be okay with the difference of opinions. That's what makes this a fantastic place to be. You don't have to be lockstep in line with every single thing. That's what makes this a beautiful place. That's why I love it here. All that being said, Jalen Hurts did not go. Scheduling conflict, and a lot of people on the right are giving him shit for it because they're saying, hey, by you not going, you made this a politicized issue when it's just a visit to the fucking White House. Okay, fair enough. Those are also the same people that are going to tell you he's the face of the franchise, he's the quarterback, he's the leader, he must go. Sometimes as a leader, you got to do things that you don't want to do for the betterment of the team. Fair enough. It's a valid point. On the opposite hand, you got Saquon Barkley, who went to the White House, who went for the Super Bowl title visit, and got shit from the left, basically. And basically, he told everybody, listen, I respect the presidency, the office of the presidency. I have a relationship with Donald Trump in some capacity. If the president of the United States calls my name, whether or not it's President Trump, President Obama, President Biden, President Bush, whomever it is, if they call my name, I'm going to go because I have respect for the office. And he has every right to go ahead and do that. And for anybody who's shitting on Saquon Barkley, mainly the people on the left, they're wrong for shitting on Saquon Barkley. You have no right to sit there and politicize the fact that the man went and kept up with the tradition that happens every single year in the NFL, or every single sports team that wins a title of that calendar year. That is just tradition in sports. When you accomplish something that's special and unique, you go to the White House, you visit the president, you celebrate at the White House in front of the national media or whatever, and you spend the day at the White House acknowledging and reflecting on your past accomplishment. That's what you do. And it's a special, special moment. And I'm speaking as if I know exactly what it feels like. I don't. I've never been to the White House. I've been to D.C. I've seen the White House from the outside. I've never been inside. I've never shook the president's hand. It probably is such an honor. It is, no matter who you believe the president is or shouldn't be, whether or not you agree with him or not. It's an honor. And that's Saquon Barkley's point. Now, here's my thing. You can't sit there and tell me about freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and all the rights that we have in this country and get upset at either side for not only expressing their opinion, but bashing the other person's point of view. You can't. So what? Jalen Hurts politicized it by not going. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to politicize it by deciding not to go. But what the hell do you want him to do? If he doesn't want to go and he doesn't agree with President Trump and he doesn't want to actually go through the pomps and circumstance of the White House visit, it's his prerogative. You don't have to like it. You don't have, like I don't care whether or not you like it, just like you don't care whether or not I like it. Personally, I think he should have gone. That's the president of the United States. I think you should respect the office. Not that I agree with the man per se, but it's the president of the United States. If he called my house today and he said, hey, Asif Badi, for whatever freaking reason, we want you to come to the White House, I'm going to say, yeah, Mr. President, I'm on my way. That's what I'm going to do. Jalen Hurts has the cachet to go ahead and decline that. More power to you, brother. I'm not going to fret you one bit. I don't care whether or not you believe his policies affect you or not affect you, or you agree or don't agree. It's your prerogative. You're the quarterback of the team, and people are going to say he's the face of the franchise. Why is he doing this? He shouldn't make anything political. Well, here's the freaking problem. Is it only political because we, the media and the fans and the consumers, are making it a political stance? Right? Like, does it have to be something that's so antagonistic? I mean, there are plenty of times when, other quarterbacks haven't gone, particularly Brady. Brady didn't go in 2017 when Trump got into office. And he's the guy who had the MAGA hat in his locker room. And he got a lot of shit for that, which was wrong, by the way. It's not anyone's business who he supports. And guess what he ended up saying? I ended up not going because I didn't want to politicize it. I didn't want to deal with the politics of it. Well, that's more of a fucking cop-out than it was for Jalen Hurts. What do you want the guy to say? I don't want to go to the presidency. I don't want to go to the president and go to the White House because I don't like the man. That would give him even more shit. And people are going to say, I would have respected that more. No, you would have just been even more angry than you are right now. That's all. You already had an opinion about his opinion about going or not going. That's the problem. You shouldn't care what the guy does outside of football, because in the end, when he's in between the gridiron lines, does he win you football games? As an Eagle fan, objectively, yes, he does. That's what his job description is. What he does outside of his job, none of my fucking business. It's not. Brady didn't go when Trump was president in 2017. He didn't go with Obama because he had issues with his family. He ended up visiting Biden. He hasn't gone to a White House visit since 2005 with George W. Bush, but he went with President Biden. What does that say? He didn't want to see Obama because he doesn't agree with him? Did he not go? Did he not want to go to Donald J. Trump's White House invitation for, the Super Bowl champions when they won 28-3 against the Falcons? That comeback? What does that say? He didn't want to make it political, he said. Is that a cop-out? Did Tom Brady at the time receive shit for not going? I know he received shit for the MAGA hat in his locker after the post-game interview. Just like Nick Bosa got shit for having a MAGA hat in his post-game interview, which again, I thought was wrong. Who cares what the man thinks about political ideology? He's a football player. It's his business. His vote counts the same as your vote. You got the same power as he does when it comes to politics in general. So why does it matter? What really it comes down to is the fact that most people are in their feelings when it comes to topics like this. And it also doesn't help that Donald J. Trump objectively is a polarizing figure. And he's very brash about it. And he's very vocal about it. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's just who he is. It's consistent with who he's been. It's wrong for guys to get shit for not going, just like it is wrong for guys to get shit for going. Like, it shouldn't make a difference that Saquon Barkley decided to go and visit the president of the United States because of this tradition. It doesn't make him any less of a player. It doesn't make him any less of an individual. He says he respects the office. He wants to be there to celebrate with the teammates that decided to go. Again, all good, brother. And for anybody on social media, and again, this is all social media bullshit, by the way. That's who's really getting upset. It's all the people's opinions on social media. And for those of you who say, oh, I am not on social media, and you're commenting on a YouTube page or you're commenting on any other page, you're on social media, guys. That's the whole point. That's the form of communication that we have with the rest of the people out there. So I'm engaging in social media right now by posting this video. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I am not part of the social media crew and giving my thoughts about this issue or this discussion and, act as if I'm higher than anybody else who makes this a political issue. No. Really what this is people getting in their feelings about a topic that they feel is near and dear to them because it's the president of the United States. And it does come down to political ideology and sports. And as much as everybody wants to claim they want to separate the two entities, they always end up combining the two. 100%. And that's because of personal feelings. Now, I am telling you, nothing wrong with you feeling that way. Just acknowledge that's how you feel. And make that the forefront statement as opposed to saying, I'm above emotions. I'm trying to look at this objectively and he should have gone. Or he shouldn't have gone. Or this is what he should do. This is what he shouldn't do. This is what Trump did. This is what Trump didn't do. This is what Saquon is. This is what Saquon isn't. Guys, they're just athletes. People are in their feelings. The media covers this in a particular way that incites and fuels this fire of divisiveness. When in the end, it's the person's prerogative. I'm sure half the country would want to go, half the country wouldn't go. Better yet, let me give you a better analogy. A third of the country would definitely go no matter what. A third of the country definitely would not go. And then you got everybody else in between. A classic bell curve. Some people probably would. Some people probably wouldn't. And some people are right smack dab in the middle and they said, hey, if the president calls my name, depending on who it is, I don't know. If they say yes, come to the house, I'll go. If not, then I won't go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen. He's the quarterback. He's the face of the franchise. I understand. This is what makes this an interesting discussion. I don't know what the right answer is. Listen, if I were the quarterback of the team, if I were a player on that team and the president called my name, I would have gone. I would have. But I'm also not going to shit on the guy for not going. It's his right. You got freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, freedom to do all these things because people who served in the armed forces, people who served in the Navy, in the Air Force, in the Marine Corps, Green Beret, like everybody who serves in the armed forces gives us and fights for these rights so that we can go ahead and have opinions on this matter, so that we can go ahead and decide whether or not to take a knee for the flag, whether or not to go visit the presidency and visit the White House after you win a Super Bowl title. Whether or not it is to go or not go, whether you're Brady or Jalen Hurts. That's the beauty of this country. You could go ahead and have those opinions. You could express those opinions, and you can have fundamental ideology disagreements. But the problem now is that people decide to get their feelings involved in politics, and then they start attacking and character assassinating people for going and not going. And what I'm trying to tell you, all of that is objectively wrong. If you think Jalen Hurts was wrong for going or for not going to the White House, fine. Keep that opinion to your fucking self. No one gives a fuck. Just like if you think it was wrong for Saquon Barkley to go to the White House, guess what? You're not so fucking special either. Who gives a fuck what your opinion is about that either? No one gives a shit. Or no one should give a shit about it, rather. These are two fucking people, two athletes. Yes, they accomplished something special, and normally you go to the White House to celebrate something special. But you know what? At the end of the day, you still got your bills to pay. You still got your problems at the end of the day to go ahead and solve. And the fact that Jalen Hurts went to the White House or didn't go to the White House, or Saquon Barkley went to the White House or didn't go to the White House, it doesn't solve anything in your fucking day. Because in the end, those two men's jobs, their job in the end is to go out on that football field and help this team win football games. That's ultimately their job. Does Jalen Hurts not going to the White House and Saquon Barkley going to the White House affect that job? No. And if it does, I'm going to call you a pussy because that's what you are. If that's the reason you can't find a way to get the job done, you can't set aside your differences just because someone disagrees with you on a political ideology, then you're a fucking pussy. That's what you are. 100%. And there's no way around it. You're getting caught up in your feelings about something when it really doesn't have to do anything with that. He don't want to go? Doesn't want to go. His fucking problem. Saquon Barkley wants to go? Not your problem. Who cares? Let him enjoy himself. It doesn't make a damn difference to you or me. At least it shouldn't. And if it does, I think you need to go look in the mirror and think about what you have to fix about yourself. Because ultimately, in the end, it's not affecting what they do out on the field. It doesn't affect the work that they put in. It doesn't affect the fact that they're Philadelphia Eagle members. It doesn't affect the fact that they're collecting checks from Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. It doesn't affect the fact that they're going to go out there and try to win football games when they get out there on the field. That is ultimately why I find this conversation interesting. I find the climate of this country in a very interesting place. Because on one hand, a lot of people are, talking about how we are not allowed to have hard, tough conversations anymore. We're not allowed to have disagreements on things. And yet all those people are also saying how, what a scumbag Jalen Hurts is and how he's totally wrong and he shouldn't be, doing this. He's not my quarterback anymore for doing this. When you're the ones promoting, don't be emotional in the conversation. And then for those of you shitting on Saquon Barkley, like I said, you're also a freaking fruitcake. You're also a damn pussy because it shouldn't be the fact that the man is honoring a tradition that has been withstanding in the NFL for years upon years upon years upon years to go ahead and celebrate victory for what is a special season at the White House, despite who the president is, whether or not you agree with him or not. It shouldn't be a character assassination for the guy for him going. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are? You little bitch. Commenting behind the fucking keyboard with fucking crumb cake on your tits? Like, I don't know who the hell do you think you are by character assassinating the fucking guy. Just like nobody should character assassinate the president for his ideology. I think that's wrong too. You can have disagreements on policy. You can have disagreements on ideas, and we can have those discussions. You know what I mean? But just because, you think one way, they think another way, you're going to call each other, assholes. You're going to say like, oh, this person shouldn't be allowed to do this and this. Miss me with that. Because in the end, your opinions are just that, opinions. It doesn't really matter. I said it before. It does not affect the way that these guys go out there on the field and get the job done. They go out there and win football games. Right? Like nobody had an issue when Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman and this organization was endorsing Kamala Harris. They had posters all up over Lincoln Financial Field about it. No problems then. Everybody was zipping quiet about it. But now you got a problem with, Donald Trump. The fucking double standard here. That makes no sense. It shouldn't be that way. I think Jalen should have gone. Like I said before, it's the president of the United States. If he calls your name, I believe you should go, personally. And that's what I would have done. I'm also not going to character assassinate the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles for deciding not to go. Because ultimately, in the end, he is just the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's just an athlete. He is not anything particularly special in the grand scheme of things. His vote on the voting ballot counts the same as your vote, and it casts the same as my vote. And for all of those people, again, I don't want to get too political here, but I'm going to get political with this last statement. I'm going to kind of leave it here at that and let you guys, comment your thoughts in the comment section about it. You know good and damn well, particularly with this president, if Jalen Hurts did decide to go, and everybody did decide to go, he would somehow politicize the fact that the team came by and make it a political moment for him. That's the same with any president, by the way, but particularly with him, you know it would be a guarantee. And if that was what's going to happen, why is it a problem that Jalen didn't want to be a part of that? Because Brady didn't want to be a part of that. He got the backlash already from it. And he's like, you know what? I'd rather not deal with that. He even said it. I don't want this. You know what? I'm going to pull the fucking quote because I have it in front of me. Because I do. This is what Brady said. Let me pull this damn thing up. I'll show you. He went, the whole political aspect came, and I think I got brought into a lot of things because it was so polarizing around the election time. It was uncomfortable for me because you can't, and not that I would undo a friendship, but the political support is so different than support of a friend. I didn't want to get into the political thing in regards to his visit to the White House when he was part of the Buccaneers. Why couldn't that be the reason Jalen Hurts didn't want to go? Yeah, he used the scheduling conflict with Oprah Winfrey. Would you have rather him flatly outright said, I don't agree with the man's politics and I don't want it to be a political thing, so I decided not to go? Or would you have rather him go the way he did? To me, I think he handled it correctly. And not being so blatantly outright saying, I don't agree with the man's politics. Because if you did that, it becomes even more politicized. And I know some people are going to say, well, if you're already dipping into that pond, why don't you just dive all the way in? Well, you know what? Jordan said it best, dude. Republicans buy shoes too. And Jalen Hurts and this organization is all about making money. So you know what? They probably told him, hey, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. But don't flatly outright say, I don't agree with the man's fucking politics. Because in the end, it's going to cost us money. We could deal with the hit of you deciding not to go. Don't flat outright say, hey, I don't agree with the man's politics. I don't know. I think the conversation in regards to any form of politics nowadays, and the conversation on social media, and what a lot of content creators truly, excuse me, I've been drinking water and drinking tea. Hence the burp and the belt, so I apologize for that. The conversation in general with podcasters and content creators alike, a lot of it gets caught up in people's feelings. It does. And I don't know. I think if you're trying to sit here and just be a fan of sports and be a fan of teams, you're not looking for politics. That's why people hated the whole national anthem bit. And that's why they stopped televising it, which was smart, by the way. We don't need to do that every fucking time. And again, that's another hot take for me. People are going to get upset by that. I don't think you need to put the fucking national anthem between every fucking sporting event. I get it. We get it. We love the country 100%. We won't want to live anywhere else. I get it. I don't need to do that for every fucking game that we're about to watch. I want to watch the game. That's what I came here to do. I wanted to escape all that nonsense. Again, that's why people don't like the national anthem before the sporting event. That's why they don't want people sitting there kneeling. That's why people don't want people to stand up right when everyone else is kneeling. Because they got their own opinions on that too. And then they insert themselves in the conversation, their ideology in the conversation, in politics. And then they talk about saying, hey, you guys are just athletes. Just stick to being a fucking athlete. Just dribble. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and play ball. But then at the same token, you're also the same people out there who say, hey, You're supposed to be a role model for these people. You're bigger than an athlete. You're supposed to go out and have this standard of excellence and the standard, a higher living that you're supposed to be able to go out there and, be the role model for people because you are an athlete. You have access that other people don't. My question is, which is it? You can't have one versus the other. Because then you're just trying to have your cake and eat it too. And like I said, if that's what you really want to do, have the sugar crumbs on your tits. Just don't complain about anybody when they got a difference of opinion than you. Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I would love to hear what people's thoughts are about this. I think it's a very interesting conversation. You can make fun of my takes if you want. You could disagree with my takes or agree with my takes. All the like. Like I said, I don't block any comment on this channel. Because I believe freedom of speech and ideas should just be out here in its full capacity. And I love to hear what everyone's mindset is in regards to this issue. This isn't about taking sides. This isn't about supporting Barkley or Hurts or Donald Trump. The overall conversation in the end to me, and I guess just to kind of put a bow on it, if you're upset about this in any way, for Saquon's side or Jalen's side or about Donald J. Trump, you guys need to calm down. In the end, truly isn't that big of a deal. Because, quite frankly, it doesn't make much of a difference in your day-to-day either. And the media doesn't have to cover it the way it does. And people want to blame the media for covering it the way it does. Well, the only reason they cover it the way they do is because we consume it that way. We have the power to change the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. If you as the consumers decide to change the conversation, guess what? The media will acquiesce and change the narrative then. And change that conversation to something that's more digestible and more about football. In the end, I think that's what a majority of the people want. They want to come see this football team, and they just want to stick to football. Because that is the happy place for the United States of America.
Hey! Thank you so much for watching the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. If you want to continue to support the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Riding the Bench Eagles Pod. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us next time here at the Riding the Bench Eagles Podcast.